Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who's a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today I'm actually going to be doing a Blu-ray collection update, including some reviews of a couple of the titles that I have been sent. I know this is not the typical style of video, so I really do hope that you will watch this all the way through, and also that you will smash the like button and also hit that subscribe as well. And I will continue to do daily news, daily news articles, daily box office coverage as well in the coming days. But of course, I always want to add in these videos too, because I am a Blu-ray collector. For those that don't know that about me, I love physical media. I love the quality that you get from both Blu-ray and 4K discs, and also I just love movies in general. If you couldn't tell, I have a movie blog, which is a constant joke over on Friday Night Tights, but I wanted to actually cover some of the videos that I have been sent, two of which I was actually lucky enough to be able to watch, a few of the others which I have yet to watch, but I do plan to, and I plan to do full reviews of all the films that I have not seen up to this point over on the Welcome to Asgard channel. But I did want to give some shout-outs because, again, I get sent videos, I get sent movies to review, and I, of course, want to give them the coverage that they deserve. So the first one is actually a film that I finally watched last night, and it is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. This is a film that I honestly wanted ever since Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I've actually always been a huge fan of Kevin Smith, the filmmaker. Obviously, I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions on him because of the way that he's covered and talked about Star Wars and things like that. When it comes to him as a filmmaker, I genuinely like most of the films that he actually makes. Haven't really been able to catch a whole lot of the films that he's made more recently, but I think that that's kind of the jokes, or some of the many of the jokes that exist in this film, I think make fun of some of his I guess you could almost say that I think there's a group of segment of people out there will say that there's a canon of his universe, there's a canon of his films that count, and then there's like these non-canon or these like canon-defying films that just get crapped on and joked about constantly, and I just think that's really funny that they're able to bring that into this movie. And this film has a lot of humor. It actually stars not just Giant Silent Bob, but also Kevin Smith's real-life daughter as well, who has the incredible name, of of a Batman character, Harley Quinn, which I just think is freaking awesome. And they constantly make fun of that too in the movie as well, with the way her character is introduced, and just the fact that you have all of these reboots in Hollywood, and a lot of these people are constantly trying to bring in their own family members to get them their start, and just all that kind of stuff in there, including a lot of throwbacks to not just Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but also a lot of, and I would say most of the works and most of the films that have been done in the Kevin Smith regime, Kevin Smith era. I don't know why I'm speaking in that way, but that's what's great about it, is that this is not just a Jay and Silent Bob film. It also, to me, is kind of a tribute to all of the films that have just been loved by so many people, including references to things like Clerks, to Chasing Amy, to the original, of course, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and that's what's just so refreshing about this film. Now, is this a perfect film, or is this as good as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? I would say, narratively speaking, I don't quite think so. I think that they sometimes rely a little bit too much on a lot of the jokes that have already been told before. There's a lot of repeats of lines and of moments, and I know obviously a lot of that is for not just nostalgia, but that's the reason why I kind of respect those moments too, even though I don't personally like them or laugh at them as much as I did the first time that they were said, if it was a line or moments if they were shown. But it's also just a great way of having this, this sense of a tribute to the fact that this is making fun of reboots, that this is making fun of the concept of reboots. There's a whole discussion in the film about what the difference between a reboot and a remake is. And I just think that that type of on-the-nose breaking of the fourth wall, but also kind of commentary about the current state of filmmaking, is just freaking fantastic. And of course, it has a lot of appearances from a lot of people that have been in his films previously, including Matt Damon. Ben Affleck comes back, and pretty much any person that you can think of that always has an appearance in his films, and there's always those jokes about how he gets his friends to come in and do these films. All that stuff is in there. So if you like Kevin Smith's previous work, especially his comedic work with things like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I think that you're really going to thoroughly enjoy this film. And as I said, I gave it a 3.5 stars, 3.5 out of 5 stars, so pretty much just like a C+ rating, which I know might seem harsh, but when you take into account that this is definitely not a film that's going to win any Oscars and not going to be one of those types of films, going into it knowing that what you're going to expect, I think that for the most part, you're overall going to enjoy it. This is a film that I could definitely see myself watching again down the line, especially since it has a lot of really great bonus material in there as well. So one, there's like an hour's worth of cast interviews where they interview almost every single member of the cast, which is really cool to see. I'm always glad whenever studios put in a lot of extra content onto the Blu-rays and 4Ks, because I think that when you're buying a film, it's not just a film anymore, especially if you're going to try and push people to buy physical media. You can't just get the film. You got to get all that extra stuff too, and especially since you've got so much data that you can fit onto a Blu-ray disc these days, it's always great to have that kind of stuff added onto it. So you have an hour's worth of cast interviews. You have Kevin and Jay who then at that point, they are also Jay and Silent Bob, and of course, Jason Mewes and Kevin are, as themselves, right, as Kevin and Jay. They are going around and they do their own interviews of the cast as well, which features a couple other people that were not on the original reel of the hour's worth of interview content. There's a bloopers reel, which is hilarious as hell. There's also a hair reel on here because of how often they have to deal with the wigs that both of the main characters have to wear. So this is a film I would definitely recommend getting. Again, River is very excited by that, and I'm going to leave a link to this and all the films I'm going to talk about in the comment section below, so please make sure you check this out. Again, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Let me know your thoughts if you had seen that film, but shout out to Lionsgate for sending a review copy my way. Again, very glad to see that film, and overall, they're very much enjoying the experience of that, and again, shout out to them for making such a great product. Everything looks great and sounds great as well. It's got the Dolby Atmos 5.1 track. And also, of course, just has very beautiful visuals as well. Another film that I want to talk about is a film that I actually I saw in the actual theater. So I was able to see this film when it was out theatrically. And I was very mixed on this film because I love the cinematography. I love the acting. I love so many elements, even the score. There are so many things that I love about this film, really except the story. And I think it's because the film kind of goes into a position of being in almost like this art house territory where there's certain things that happen to the characters where you have to ask, is this real? Is this just a vision? And the whole film and the concept of leaving it up to interpretation, those types of films always drive me crazy because I'm such a black and white person most of the time where I just want to know the answer. And so it's one of those things where I'm definitely critical of the story for that reason, but I think it's something that other people probably won't have as much of an issue with, especially if you're someone that enjoys just beautiful cinematography. The fact that they shot this thing on film, they shot this and it has the 4:3 aspect ratio. So the old box, style of filmmaking comes back here. They also have a mono track. So basically they go pretty legit with this, and they use lenses from, actually one of the really cool things about this release too, is the fact that there's a lot of bonus content where they talk about how they shot the film, and there's lenses that they use from around the 1930s or so that really help to capture what films would have looked like during this time in history. Also with all the elements working against them, there's a lot of shots that happen in the rain and storms, and it's just amazing the amount of just contrast they're able to get with the black and white film negative, and also with all the other things that they throw into it, including the lenses that they use as well. So they use some old school film lenses, which I just, again, think is just so badass and cool. As someone that loves and appreciates filmmaking cinematography, it is a beautiful film. So if you just want to have a beautiful film to look at, this, I think, is absolutely brilliant. Again, it shines on the Blu-ray copy of the film, and it does come with a lot of bonus features as well. So even though I personally did not, I wasn't crazy about the story, all those other elements I can absolutely praise and say that is worthy of your time. This is actually released from A24, so shout out to A24, but also Lionsgate, who is of course in charge of the distribution rights of this film. So again, shout out to you, to Lionsgate, for sending this review copy my way. But what's really cool about this as well is the fact that you do get yourself this black, white, crisp image, but you get a lot of extra content as well. You get the Lighthouse, a dark and stormy tale, which pretty much is how they do their interviews. However, it's about the story of how the film was made, broken up into different chapters that you can either watch one at a time or watch all together. So it's really cool to have the interviews. Of course, anytime Willem Dafoe speaks about anything dealing with performing and filming, I just immediately am just grossed into it. I'm so amazed by this dude. I mean, I think that he's one of the most talented actors, which is like one of the biggest crimes of the film is the fact that neither him nor Robert Pattinson got nominated for any Oscars or have gotten really much awards attention at all, which is really sad because if anything, this film deserves a lot of attention for the performances, especially from Willem Dafoe, who just knocks it out of the park in this movie. But what's really cool is during that whole Lighthouse Dark and Stormy Tale extra feature you get, he is in the interview, he's talking a lot, and again, he is such a brilliant actor, and just to hear him and his commentaries and everything. But they also have Robert Pattinson giving his commentaries, the director and the producer also as well, Robert Eggers. And of course, you have the audio commentary track with the writer and director, co-writer director Robert Eggers, and of course, you have deleted scenes on here as well. So again, a very, very good release. And that's actually one of the criticisms I could have of Jay and Silent Bob is that even though there's an hour's worth of interviews, it would be really cool to have Kevin Smith as doing an audio commentary track for the film. But if that's something that you, again, just because I didn't mention that previously, but if you like audio commentary tracks, again, the writer director is able to do that for this film. And this is a film where I think having that track on definitely helps, because it definitely helps you get not only the vision of what he's going for, but also to help explain certain elements of the story as well and kind of guide you along in a certain way. So I'd recommend watching it just by itself first and then putting that audio track on because, again, this is a brilliant film as far as just the filmmaking aspect of it. I just personally was not crazy about the story. So again, thank you for sending that my way. Now, 2 films from Lionsgate that I've not been able to see yet, but I totally plan to. One of them I'm just waiting to watch with the wife, and it's been very hard just to get the schedules to line up in that way. And that is a film called The Farewell. Now, this is a movie that so many people who are subscribed to the channel have said, I need to see this, because it'll make me appreciate Awkwafina as an actress a little bit more, because really the only places that I've really seen her work are in comedies. And so this one, from what I've been told, is a little bit more of a dramatic performance. It, of course, tells a very serious story, again, based on an actual life. So this is actually a story that the director, I believe it was the director and writer of the film, were able to try and bring onto it. So she, as the director and writer, were able to basically tell a story from her own life. And so I think that always, when you get that personal touch behind the camera, I think it always just brings a little bit more out of the actors, brings a little bit more out of the storytelling elements to it as well. But this is a film that looks freaking fantastic also. So after learning that her family's beloved matriarch, Nai Nai, has been given mere weeks to live, Chinese-born, U.S.-raised Billy returns to Changchun to find that her family has decided to keep the news from Nai Nai. So again, if I'm mispronouncing that, very sorry. Maybe it was a Nai Nai or Nene. Either way, again, it just looks brilliant. And I could talk to just about the fact that they have a lot of really great content on here. The video quality looks great. The audio quality looks great. I haven't seen the whole film all the way through yet, but I was able to at least check that out. Audio commentary from writer-director Lulu Wang and cinematographer Anna Francesca Solano. So again, you get the audio commentary track on this. Nothing But the Truth, Confessions of a Writer-Director, talking about her experiences working on the film and having it be a personal story from her life. Going Home, a conversation with Awkwafina. So Awkwafina getting to work. Obviously, they did some on-location shooting with this, so getting able to travel, so it follows her and her journey. And of course, a lot of deleted scenes also as well. So again, a lot of really great content on there. And the last film from Lionsgate, so again, shout out Lionsgate to sending this stuff my way, is a film that I really cannot wait to see, and that is The Peanut Butter Falcon. So this is a film starring Shia LaBeouf, or as I like to call him, Shia LaBeouf. Dakota Johnson, John Hawkes is in it also, and this is a film, again, follows Zach Gottsigan, a young man with Down syndrome who runs away from a residential nursing home to fulfill his dream of attending the pro wrestling school of his idol. So it's all about, again, this kid with Down syndrome who's trying to become basically a professional wrestler. And I just think that because you have a film that's obviously going to be very, heartwarming, it's going to touch the heart, and also the fact that this is kind of a part of Shia LaBeouf's comeback, because he's started to make a lot of movies ever since he went to rehab, and it seems to be, based on the interviews that I've seen from him recently, he seems to be in a much better place overall mentally. And I think that is something that is shining through some of his performances, because I've seen some clips from his performances in Honey Boy, where he plays the father figure of basically a movie based on his life of him as a young child actor. So having him play a more serious role in this also just looks fantastic. So I cannot wait to actually see the entire film all the way through. But it also comes with a lot of great features as well. Zach's story, the making of the Peanut Butter Falcon. So it goes not just through his story, again, of the the character in the film, but also the actual actor himself, again, who has Down syndrome, Zach Gottsigan as well. So this is something that I think is very important, because of the fact that it's going to be able to, convey the character in a way that just an actor that doesn't have that experience, that doesn't understand what it's like to go through that, would be able to really bring to it. Obviously, this is something that I think that most films usually get right whenever you're dealing, obviously maybe not back in the day, but it's really cool to see someone who is actually dealing with the struggles that come with having Down syndrome, and being able to portray that kind of a character, I think, is something that's very important. And also having these types of stories being told, I think, is also important as well. From what I've been told, this is one of those things that will definitely cause tears, just because of just the heartwarming nature of the film itself. There's also a photo gallery, and you get the theatrical trailer as well. So not a whole lot of special features on this release, but still, from what I've heard, is a fantastic video. And I can say that the video quality on that is on point. All right, so those are all the movies that have been sent to me from Lionsgate. So now shouting out to MVD Visual, who always sends me a lot of really cool stuff. And so, first off, want to shout out for some new Arrow video releases that have been sent to me. So this is going to be released actually at the end of February, again, February 28th, and that is Deadly Manor. I've never seen this movie before, but this is a old dark house, a maniac on the loose, an orgy of bloodlust, all the hallmarks of late master of Spanish macabre, Jose Ramon Lares, who did Edge of the Axe and Vampires, are present and correct in 1990s Deadly Manor, the final horror movie from one of the genre's most unheralded filmmakers, when en route to a lake, a group of youngsters make an unscheduled stop off at a remote, seemingly abandoned mansion where they decide to spend the night. And of course, you have a crazy maniac on the loose. So if you're big fan of horror films. Arrow Video always does a very good job of really choosing a lot of really, I would say, almost niche films. And so I can just only imagine that this is going to be an extremely profound film, because that's tends to be the type of films that they get. But this has a lot of special edition. That's what I love about Arrow Video, is that they always have special edition content and just a lot of extra features. So this is a brand new 2K restoration from the original 35mm print. This, of course, is 1080p Blu-ray, original uncompressed mono audio, so nothing compressed going on there. Optional English subtitles, brand new audio commentary with Kat Ellinger and Sam Dehan. Let's see, House of Wax, a newly filmed interview with actress Jennifer Delora, Making of a Killing. Again, tons of extra special features always available on these releases. So again, shout out to MVD Visual for sending that my way. They also sent me this DVD called 16 Bars, One Jail, One Recording Studio. So this is offers a rare glimpse at the human stories and songs locked away at our nation's jails and prisons. The documentary follows a unique rehab effort in Virginia jail that encourages inmates to write and record original music. So it follows the lives of people in prison to write their own music, to sing their own music, to perform their own music. And so this is, again, one of those really cool documentaries that MVD Visual tends to be involved with. I've been sent several documentaries by them. And so this is definitely one that definitely sounds a lot interesting to me. Extras include 4 individual music videos for songs created inside the prison and recording studio, a full Q&A after the world premiere screening at Docklands Film Festival, and also the theatrical trailer as well. So if you like music and you like documentaries, this definitely seems like an incredibly interesting one. And then the last one is a Blu-ray sent to me. This is actually produced by Jada and Will Smith, and it is called Sprinter on Blu-ray. So once again, a shout out to MVD Visual for sending this one my way. So Sprinter tells the story of Akeem Sharp, said to be Jamaica's next track and field sensation. Akeem hopes a rise in the track and field world will take him to the U.S. so that he may reunite with his mother, who has supported their family while living as an illegal resident for over a decade. So obviously, a lot of topical things going on in this story, a lot of things going on overall. I guess you could say that there's probably maybe some political motivations for this film, but yet still, I think, a interesting looking film nonetheless, and a film that I definitely still, again, it's in my stack of films that I need to watch, which is, again, growing by the day, especially when you count all the films that Bruce has sent me throughout the last several weeks as well. Tons of things that I need to watch, but Sprinter is yet another one from MVD Visual, so thank you so much for saying that way. Anyway, those are all the Blu-rays that I've been gotten over the last couple of weeks from both Lionsgate and MVD Visual, so again, shout out to them for sending all these things my way. And for anyone that stuck all the way down, all the way through to the end of this video, thank you very much. These videos tend not to do nearly as well, but I am trying to build and slowly reach out to many of these distributors, including Lionsgate and MVD Visual, to send me more videos to be able, or rather movies to be able to review and things like that. So the only way that I can get that kind of stuff can continue is if you smash like and share all this content. If you like my reviews, if you like the way that I cover this stuff, you have any commentary on the way I cover this stuff, please let me know in that comment section below. But also make sure you check out, again, I'm going to have the Lionsgate videos, links directly to those videos. And again, you can find all of the videos that I talk about from MVD Visual on their website, but also, of course, you can find a couple of those, the newer releases. Again, specifically the ones that are going to be coming out from Arrow Video. Deadly Manor, again, comes out at the end of February. If you're interested in that one, 16 Bars will be available at the very beginning, around February 7th. So not too far away if you're interested in that film. And Sprinter is already out because it's been a while since I've been able to cover that stuff. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about any of these films that I mentioned in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash the like button, give me a subscribe, it helps me a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now I want to give a shout out to my January Patreon members: animation commentator Brian P, Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M, Enrique Evangelista, fan addicts of film, Father Christopher Miller, hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, J.J. Jonathan Jerembeck, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lanceloto, Theodore Benton, The DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and Tina B, and Sharon Ferguson. Sharon! Thank you so much for being Patreon members. And of course, to my Subscribe Star peeps, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2Cool99, Darkstar57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebalan G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you so much for supporting me this month. You guys freaking rock. and a special new shout out to Jeff Lebowski and Steve Glasker. God bless.